Hey everyone, Othania here with Create Your Future. So today I am making a video about how to not create, I think I'm gonna name it this, how to not create a third party basically ever again. And to get right into it, you want to analyze how you're thinking about yourself first. So if you're constantly comparing yourself to others, that is how to create a third party. If you're thinking that someone is better for you, better than you for your person, that's how to create a third party. If you're constantly having thoughts about yourself that are like down in the dumps, that is how to create a third party. So we want to know how to not create a third party. And it's to basically do the opposite of what you do to create one. So what you want to do is start having the foundation of thinking of yourself as the best. And how do we get there if we're not thinking of ourselves as the best? Well, you have to build the momentum to get there. Okay. Um, Without any gas or without any fuel, you really can't make it to your trip in your vehicle. So your gas and your fuel are the thoughts that are in your favor. And the more that you continue to think in your favor, the more you can accelerate, the more you can go. And it's basically like the faster you get to your destination. Um, when it comes to your person, for example, say like your person has children with someone else. I get this with my clients. Usually, this is a scenario. They have children with someone else, and I've also experienced this too. And you feel like the children's mom is better than you for the simple fact that they have children together. But if you keep thinking that or thinking things along those lines, then that's what will begin to materialize, and that will be your person's realization all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So you have to be careful about what you're thinking and how you're thinking about yourself, because the third party is also in your reality to show you that you are thinking about this in a certain way. And if you want to change the existence of this thing, then you need to change how you're thinking about it. Because if you're ruminating and constantly thinking of it, your subconscious is taking it as, this is what I want more of. Please keep producing this. And similar situations will keep perpetuating, and you will be like, okay, what the heck is happening? Why isn't anything changing? So you have to create and think of a version of yourself that thinks about themselves a certain way that the old version doesn't. Third parties are created. This is what I always say, and this is what I feel. Third parties are created out of fear. The fearful thoughts of thinking that your person is going to leave you. Well, if you're thinking that and you're constantly thinking that, then what do you think has to push out? That they're taking you on dates and going on vacations and everything is loving and wonderful? No, because you're not even thinking about that more than your issues. So that really cannot push out for you. You're constantly being in fear. So you're going to have circumstances that represent that, that reflect that. I intend that that you're following me and understanding what I'm saying. Third parties are only there because there are manifestations of your insecurities. That is it. You have to analyze, okay, what is it that I'm really thinking? Do I trust men? Do I trust my person? Do I trust what myself, how I think about them? What like do You have to analyze and break down, what am I really believing and who am I really being right now? Because you can say, yeah, I know about manifestation, I know about all of this, but then you're still taking actions of a person that is in fear of losing their person. And you're still taking those actions, you're still thinking from that state of mind, and then you're still wondering why the circumstances are still similar. If you want someone and you want to be happy with someone, and there's someone else that the circumstances are that way because you haven't thought about you and that person enough happily. You haven't dominantly set that thought more in stone. This is getting a little off topic, but for people that have been like trying to get someone for years and nothing has changed, well, have you changed how you operate in the mornings and not going to look at their page to see if they still with that person, and going about your day still checking their pages and thinking about why they're not with you still? Like, you have to analyze how you're living your days. Like, who are you being and when you live your days? If you're still waking up, checking and looking and seeing what's happening, you are not that person you are trying to be yet, because you are still looking to see the evidence. There's a difference between someone trying to still figure something out and someone who has already figured it out, who has already solved the case. It's two different mindsets, two different embodiments. And if you're still looking, seeing if something is working, you still aren't being the person that know that it has worked. So third parties are only there because you haven't seen yourself enough as enough. If you can wake up, say like if you were constantly in the habit of checking their page to see if the third party is gone, you have to stop doing that and start training yourself to not do that. Because if you're looking to see if that person is still around, then how can you be in an embodiment of knowing that you're chosen? It's either or. And you haven't stood in the embodiment enough. Like, you'll probably not check for like a day, which is great, but then you'll check the next 3 days. You want to make sure you maintain not checking as much as possible. Like, you want to slow down and be aware of the actions you're taking and be like, okay, this is me taking the action out of fear. Let me not do this. Let me not check. Because if I keep checking, then how am I ever going to snap out of it? Because you have to understand how you're thinking and why what's creating a reality is still happening. Don't think that you can out phony yourself by saying, "Yeah, I know about all this manifestation stuff. I've been doing this. I've been seeing myself with them, and I still don't understand why the third party isn't gone yet." Okay, well, let's make sure that when you wake up in the morning, you're still not searching to see if that person is still around. Let's make sure that your conversations are not still conversations of talking about your person being with someone else. Let's make sure that when you're looking in the mirror and you're thinking about yourself and you're saying certain things to yourself, that you know that you're chosen, you know that you're enough, you know that you're always good enough no matter what. Let's make sure that before you're going to bed, that you're not thinking from a place that, oh my God, it still didn't happen today. I feel defeated. You get what I'm trying to say? Because you're still putting yourself in the embodiment of it didn't happen yet. And then you wake up the next morning and do the same thing. Oh, did they text me yet? Did they check my story yet? Let me go check their story, see what they're doing. Okay, now let me go affirm. Okay, I feel good for the next 5 minutes. Now let me go call my friend because it's not happening fast enough. I need somebody to talk to about this. Let me call my friend and let me complain about something. Probably for like the next 30 minutes to an hour. And then now you're in a depressed, not a depressed, but more in a state of mind that doesn't reflect being chosen after that conversation with your friend. So now you feel even more down. And this whole time, everything you've been thinking throughout the day has been pushing out. But you only basically affirmed for 5 minutes. But for the rest of the day, you've been complaining and worrying and seeing if it's happening yet. You still haven't lived your days as if you don't need to do that. So that's why third parties are probably still happening in your realities because you haven't yet mastered how to live your days without taking actions as a person who's not chosen. I noticed that when I stopped looking to see if I was getting any validation or communication from people I wanted to manifest back in, they came back around wanting my attention. You have to be okay with trusting and allowing yourself to be different. We're always manifesting, right? No matter what. But the point is to do it with less anxiety, less fear, so we can create more circumstances without that. Because that's what we're trying to change. Because when you're thinking fearful constantly, you should not be surprised that your circumstances are not what you want, especially if you have a certain knowledge of manifestation already. So, to get rid of these third parties, you have to start living your days as if you don't need to keep seeing if they exist. You have to start living your days as like, okay, you know what? No, I know I'm chosen. I know my person only wants to be with me. I know my person um, only wants to communicate with me. They love talking to me. Why? Because I'm good enough for that. Why wouldn't I be? I mean, I want to be the person that is good enough for that, right? So let me just tell myself that. But I'm telling myself other crap that's not working in my favor. It's creating these situations, these circumstances. Because to continue to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. So you have to be the person that's not looking to see if an issue is gone. Because if you're looking to see that an issue is gone, then that means that the issue is still there. If it's gone, it's gone. There's nothing to look for. It's already gone. So to remove a third party is to act as if there's nothing to look for. It's gone. I already know I'm enough for my person. I don't need to keep searching for the evidence to see if this person is gone. Because once it's gone from my mind, it's gone from my reality. And if I keep thinking that I'm enough and no one else ever compares to me, then I cannot create a third party again. unless I start thinking low of myself again. But why would I do that knowing everything that I know now? Even if a third party is children, the other person has children, they're always with their children. Okay, you know what? My person makes time for the children and makes time for me to the point where I feel satisfied. That's what you have to affirm. And then with time, what you'll see happening is your person will make time for your children, and all of a sudden, in conversations, start letting you know, hey, I got some time on Wednesday night. Let's go hang out. Let's go do something. And next thing you know, you're in your realities where your person creates time for you. And you don't have to feel like the children are in the way or, a third party. Because now you're affirming they spend time with the children and you. It don't have to be the children and you together, but they make time for the children and they make time for you. If the third party you consider is a job, they work too much and you feel like they're too busy. Okay, first of all, let's stop saying that they're too busy because that's why they're showing up busy. Let's say they work a lot, but then they also have a lot of time for me. My person works a lot and it has enough to provide for the both of us. Instead of constantly complaining that he's busy, that he doesn't have time, because if you keep saying that, then he's going to keep showing up that way. And then you're going to keep getting upset that he's busy and he doesn't have time. But you keep complaining and saying and repeatedly saying and feeling a strong way that he doesn't have time for you. And all you can say is, oh, I'm going to stop saying that. Let me actually start saying he does make time and let me start taking up the things we can do together. That's the difference. If the third parties are actual people, you have to start seeing your person like being in love with you and only you, because isn't that the point of what you're trying to switch everything to now? So let's just snap into that. No, I'm I'm the one my person wants. And this is only happening because I was thinking a certain way about myself, but I know once I start thinking this way about myself, it's gonna change. And I'm gonna calm down, I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna allow it to happen, and I'm gonna be present in other things in my life because it's already done. I know if I think this way about it, my circumstances already are going to change and be created for me in a certain way. Like it has been happening this whole time, just not in my favor because I was thinking against myself. But now I think about myself in the best ways possible and I see it happening and I get the evidence of it all the time. And you have to make talking like that to yourself a habit, like a real, real habit. And then circumstances will just start shifting. Third parties will start dissolving, disappearing. You'll keep waking up without needing to look for anything. Your mornings will feel more peaceful. You'll start actually knowing and feeling, having the embodiment of knowing that you're chosen. And then that becomes more of a natural thing. But if you still feel like you need assistance, if you still feel like you need any help with anything, I am available for coaching, and I do have um, Remove the 3P affirmation tapes. And I do have a Remove the 3P bundle that literally works wonders. The clients love it. And I intend that you'll love it and you see how fast and how much it really works wonders. Um, Create Your Future also has a free course if you're interested in that as well. There's a link for that in the description box below. Um, if you're interested in my availability for coaching, so I can break down everything that it is that you're thinking and finally get what you want, finally get 3P's removed, finally get the money flowing in, whatever it is that you want, we can figure it out together. Okay. Um, but if not, you can just watch the videos and you can get as much information as you can that way. And whatever you feel that works for you, but what you just have to understand is that it takes you putting the work in to change the way you think about things. And once you master that, you'll see how easy things really can be. So until next time, see you guys and know that you're chosen and that nobody compares to you. And constantly think that. And I doubt you'll see um, any third parties anymore when you genuinely submerge yourself in that way of thinking about yourself. So, yeah, that's the solution. That's the key. Focus on yourself more than anything. And don't just focus on yourself, knowing, like, okay, if I focus on myself, then my person should be showing up, because that's still putting them on a pedestal above yourself. And when you are in that like state of mind, that kind of thinking, it's easy to get fearful about losing them, and next thing you know, you're thinking in ways that aren't the best for you. So yeah, I intend that this has helped you, and I intend that you don't manifest any more third parties. So see ya.